Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome to the April edition of the pre-order roundup. As I like to do, we're going to be going over the pre-orders for April and basically just talk about them. I actually did pre-order a few things this time around, one of them being very expensive and not the kind of money I usually spend on figures. And because I recorded this in reverse, I already know that this video is pretty long, which means we should probably get started. And I want to start here with Jaden from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. He's getting a re-release from Amakuni. It's great that everybody's getting a second chance. I've always liked the way this figure looks. I'm not the biggest Yu-Gi-Oh! GX fan. I'm much more so into the original Yu-Gi-Oh! But I do like this figure, and I never noticed that he actually comes with a second faceplate. I've just never seen it before, so I think that's interesting. But yeah, he looks great. I've heard there's a little bit of like a leaning issue with him, which does make sense because of the pose, unfortunately, but I've heard mixed things. Maybe it was just like a couple of people who were keeping him in a bad environment, like it was too hot. But either way, I think this is great to see, and as well as Jaden, Chaz went up for pre-order. Now, we've known about this for a bit. It took a while for him to finally get here, but I think he looks fantastic. I think it's just kind of hard for me to not like Chaz. I feel like everybody likes Chaz who watched Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Even me, who hasn't really watched it in a very long time, does remember him. And I love that he comes with the Ojamas. I just think that's really funny. And they look great. Those little monsters down there look fantastic. And I'm thinking about picking them up. I haven't done it yet, but I think he'd look great next to my Kaiba. I just feel like those two would look really cool next to each other. And I don't know, I just have a soft spot for these Yu-Gi-Oh! Figures. I just really like the art style of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I just love that these two are being made by a great company like Amakuni. It pretty much guarantees that I'm gonna love the paint, I'm gonna love the way it's sculpted. I just know that this will be a fantastic figure, and I think both of their prices are very reasonable. So I'm definitely leaning towards getting Chaz. Not sure about Jaden, I don't know if I need both, but I think either way, you'll be very happy if you like these two. So next up, we have another figure I actually like a lot, the Okamizukin-chan, or Little Red Riding Hood wolf girl version, I don't know. Either way, I've always thought this one was adorable. I love the way her hair is sculpted, I love the way it's shaded, and I really like her purple eyes. I mean, like, every part of this figure is basically adorable. Her, like, cute little boots, the plushies that she's holding, the red frilly outfit. I pretty much like all of it on that scale of cutesiness. It's like a 10 out of 10 cute. Unfortunately, this is a 22,000 yen figure with no sale, and I feel like that's a bit expensive for this one. I don't know if I can really justify it for like an original character. I don't have any connection to this, so it makes it a bit harder to bite the bullet on this one. But I will say, I think if anyone does like this and they have no problem with the price, I would highly recommend it. I think she looks fantastic. Kaide from Danganronpa V3. Now, I know a lot of people have been waiting for this one, and I think the wait was worth it, besides one thing. But before we get there, I will just say that I love the whole composition of this figure. I think the way they incorporated all those musical sheets just kind of like flying around her look really good, very well hidden, assumingly, like based on this photoshopped image, I'm assuming it looks good. And I just like the overall color scheme of this figure. I love the pink, I love the purple. The piano keys especially look really good. And out of all of Phat's figures, I think this Monokuma looks the best. I just love that he's in a little tux. It is adorable. Pretty much, I think if you're a fan of Danganronpa 3, this figure would be very hard to turn away from. But for some reason, it's 26,800 yen. That is so expensive for this figure. The last figure, which I think was Chiaki, was, I think, 16,000, which is like 10,000 yen less. That's just kind of crazy to me. I don't understand where that price is coming from, despite how I know that figures are getting more expensive, but I feel like they're definitely pushing it a bit too far with this. Like, Phat Company is nice, but I don't think they're like top tier quality. So for this next section, I'm going to talk about the bunny figures of the month, and I'm going to start off with Taiga because I think that's the one you guys are very familiar with. I made an entire video about the whole situation of this one, so I'm going to keep it brief. In my personal opinion, this is the figure that should have existed in the first place. While I have absolutely no problem with the bunny figure, I just much more prefer the fact that they went with a tiger costume for this one. I also find the expression on this one much more appealing, though I want to stress that I like the original bunny figure a lot. If this didn't exist, I would still be very happy with what I already have. But that's not the situation we're in. They obviously did this on purpose to make us second guess whether or not we actually do want to keep the original, get both of them, or only get this one. So it's up to you on what you want to do. I'm probably going to end up with both either way, so I guess that's that. So this is Mira from World's End Harem. Not a show I'm probably ever gonna watch, if I'm being honest. But this one is certainly very voluptuous. Now, the funny thing about this is that they definitely went a bit overboard on her ass, but I mean, that could be a positive if you don't mind that. I think some people are either like really against that because it looks a bit disproportionate, or they're just praising it because it's just a bigger butt. And I think Freeing wanted you to know because like at least 4 of these images are almost the exact same. I mean, I think it looks nice. I don't really have a problem with like exaggerated proportions though, so you might, you know, it's up to you. Obviously, it's your money. Make your own opinion about it. I have no idea what else to say here, so moving on. Next up is North Carolina, and similar to the other Azure Lane bunny figure from Freeing, I don't really like it. I just don't like the face on this one. It has the same issue of just feeling a bit generic, but at least that other one had a more interesting outfit. This is very much just a bunny outfit with a zipper, I think, and the flaps on the top near the breasts, but I mean, other than that, it's basically just the same kind of bunny outfit, and I don't really like her shoes. I think it's a bad color. I guess it's supposed to be silver, but it kind of just looks like a dull gray from these photos. And the last 2 bunny figures are just re-releases, but bare leg versions of them. So we're getting Index, which looks pretty cute, in my opinion. Don't really have too much to say about it. I like her pose with the hands near her head. And Karisu is also getting a bare leg version. Though I hate to say it, I feel like this one is just straight up inferior to the original one. I don't like the colors for her. I feel like despite her always wearing a lab coat, I just don't think the white really works here too well. As well as the fact that I feel like she just kind of needs tights as a character who always has like stockings on. I don't know, it just feels wrong that she's like bare-legged like this. I mean, if anything, I guess her butt looks good. And there's nothing objectively wrong with the sculpt. I do think her face looks very nice, but I just feel like there's a bit too much off for this one for me personally to really recommend it. The obligatory Miku of the month is this Hatsune Miku NT figure, which is very basic, very like back to the original design of Miku. So if you ever needed a Miku that just looks as she does in her games, this could be the one for you. She definitely has a nice face. I like that her sleeves are see-through, and there's a lot of volume to her hair, which does give her a bit more of a presence, so I do like that. She's only a 1/8 scale, so she's not that big for 22,000 yen, and a lot of that price is definitely coming down to the hair itself. They also show off her base, which is not that common for pre-order figures, but it is just a hexagon to fit in with the older figures. A lot of people are going to point this to like being a pop-up parade, but it is specifically designed to fit with those other ones. I'm going to be honest, I could see this one bargain binning, if only because I don't feel like many people are going to run out and buy a Miku that looks like this in 2022. I feel like most Miku fans would already have a figure that looks like this, but I guess we'll see. I don't really know. Alright, so I'm gonna need one of these My Hero Academia figures to finally come out from S-Fire because every single one of them is promising to look extremely good, and I think Todoroki is also looking extremely nice. I think the way they painted him, I think the way his hair was sculpted, and I think the effect parts all look excellent. But we don't have any proof that S-Fire and Sega are going to actually deliver on any of these, so I don't really know what to tell you guys. Like, I want to believe in this company because they're making some stuff that I'm looking forward to. But I honestly think if they deliver, then this is going to be Todoroki's best figure so far, mainly because of his expression. I just think like that, along with his pose, are a lot more like powerful and interesting and expressive than a lot of the other figures on the market currently. And that goes for the other figures from S-Fire. I think they're doing a great job so far, but I just don't know what their quality actually is. The photos look a bit too good in my opinion. I don't know if that's like weird to say, but they're certainly very touched up, and I can't tell what they're gonna deliver. So this is Azure Lane's Bremerton Hot training version, and hot it is. This is a very attractive figure. It is a cast-off. You can take off the skirt, though not the top, I'm pretty sure. And what could I say about it? But it does look very attractive. There's 2 versions of it if you don't want like the fence and the bag and all that stuff, but I honestly feel like the price is very justified for all the stuff that you do get with it. And I think the fence specifically looks really nice. The way they kind of made it look like sun is shining down on parts of the fence. It looks really good. But as for the figure itself, she does have like this really shiny skin to kind of simulate sweat. It does look very nice in the zoomed in photos. Her legs look extremely thick because of the way she's bending down. I like the jewel on her belly button, like the piercing. And there's some other stuff about this that I can't show you. If you want to find some photos on like MFC and then zoom in on them, you could see that there's some extra details that I don't really want to get into, but I think a lot of you will appreciate them. Either way, I think this is a great figure. I would have bought it if I wasn't spending so much, but I gotta make some cuts somewhere, and I don't have any like real connection to Azure Lane, so I chose to pass. But you probably shouldn't. You know what? Actually, this is perfect. This is why I can't buy Bremerton. So Alter finally put up their Flandre figure from Toho. I've been waiting to see this one for months. It's been a very long time, and I was not expecting them to reveal a 35,000 yen price tag. It hurt so bad to see that price tag because I have legitimately been waiting for this for so long. And despite how I always complain about prices, I pulled the trigger. I actually pre-ordered this. I just can't help it. I think, legitimately, this might be one of Alter's, if not Alter's, best figures so far. It is just so impressive looking to me. I think there's just so many freaking details on this one. The way they colored her looks outstanding. The colors just pop. It's so vibrant. And the only thing I don't really like about it is that the stained glass behind her could have been a little bit better, but it definitely is made up for with like the throne she's sitting on, the roses underneath her, the huge vines that are circling the base. You can't forget about the wings, which are comprised of these like really nice clear crystal jewels, but a bunch of different colors. And even her hair, the way they did her hair, which looks like a little messy on the front, but flowing in the back, and it's shaded super well, and it's painted super nicely. I just think it's beautiful. I think every single bit of this figure is stunning. Even just like the way they did her eyes looks so nice. I don't know, I can't get over it. I really, really like this one. It stings so bad, but I'm gonna sell one of my older Flandre figures to probably like make the cost a little less painful. And then I'm gonna have to do it all over again when they reveal Remelia, which just sucks, but I do genuinely love this figure. This will probably be one of, if not my favorite figure that I own when I get it. I could have honestly done without the extra pair of arms. I don't know why she needs to come with extra arms. It just raises the price. I'm never gonna change them. I like the way the apple looks. It looks very delicious, but I guess I gotta pay extra money to get some arms I'm never gonna use. Okay, so there's my long ramble of the video, but let's do these next few really quick to catch up. I don't want this video to be too long. Another World Rem, which is basically just like Dragon Quest Rem. It does look cute. I like the idea. I wish I liked the colors on it more. Her outfit just doesn't really jump out at me, and honestly, I feel like this one is a bit basic as far as Rem goes. I've definitely seen a lot better or more interesting Rems, which is a shame since, again, I do like the concept. So everybody's new favorite show, Spy Family, is getting a figure for Anya. This is the palm-sized figure from Mega House. It is extremely small. I think that's the one thing you really need to remember here is that, yes, the price is very attractive, but it is extremely small to make up for it. So I can see a lot of people being disappointed if they don't know exactly what they're getting into. But either way, I feel like most Anya figures are gonna be small because she's like a 6-year-old. It's just natural that any way you do it, she's gonna be very tiny. So this is another figure that I just talked about in our previous video. I wasn't sure when it would go up, but it actually just did for 22,000 yen. And all my thoughts and opinions carry over into this video. I really do like her. I'm not sure if I like the price enough to pay for her, but I do generally like the way she looks. I think having the artist for the Rise of Games gives this one a bit more of a unique charm to me specifically, just because I really like that artist. And it's hard to deny just how like curvy and attractive she is. I think this is one of those wait and see kind of things. Like, I don't want to pre-order it right now, but I could see myself doing it in the future. Aura Bella Fiora is getting a swimsuit figure from Union Creative, and while I don't really like Union Creative, I think they've done a pretty good job on this prototype. They could have gone very lazy with this figure if they wanted to, but they made a personalized volleyball, which I think is fun. They made a very unique base with like a weird tree trunk that you could kind of just put wherever you want because it's not connected to the base. So that's kind of cool. I like her swimsuit, and I think they did a great job on her face. She looks very cute, so I do have hopes. I do think this one could turn out good. I'm just not gonna, tell you to go buy it right away because it is, in fact, Union Creative. So this was a huge surprise for me personally, the Princess of the Crystal from Penguin Drum made by Furyu, another company I'm not very fond of. but I haven't seen a penguin drum figure in like 10 years, so the fact that they're doing this now for the 10th anniversary is pretty exciting. And I gotta be honest, I think this one is pretty beautiful. I really like her face. I think it's the best face a Princess of the Crystal figure has gotten so far. I own the Alter one, and I love it, but even I can admit that this face looks a little bit better to me. Her pose is basically a 1-to-1 with the 10th anniversary artwork, so it does look lovely. I love that artwork, but I just don't know if it's worth 28,000 yen from Furyu. I am interested to see if people pick this up. I would love to see their photos of it. I think I'm gonna have to pass. I'm not really interested in picking up another penguin drum figure unless it was the right price, and plus, I just don't like the way they did the pegs on this one. I mean, they're very distracting, and it looks a little ugly when you focus on them, so I don't feel too bad skipping out on this one, but it was a genuine surprise, and I wish it was a lot cheaper. So this is Q's only figure of the month, Rena Sayama from Ultraman, and I really love the vibrancy of this figure. I think it's her fair complexion against the really vibrant orange of the outfit. It just really pops, and it makes it very attractive. It is a simple figure, don't get me wrong, but the price does reflect that, and I just really like the way she looks. I love the art style of her face. I do like the midriff, just her pose in general, the way she's kind of like swaying her hips. It just looks really cute. I don't really know what else to say. So Shiro from No Game No Life actually had 2 figures go up for pre-order this month. The first one was from Kotobukiya, the dress figure, and it is a color explosion. There are so many colors on this figure. Really nice gradients all throughout the hair, so many different colors. I honestly don't even care about the dress that she's wearing. It really all comes down to the way they sculpted and painted her hair. It really does look excellent. And there's definitely some fun little details all throughout, like the playing cards in her hair. The way that her jewelry is just like dice and chess pieces, that's pretty funny. And I think unlike the other Shiro figure, which I'll get to in a second, I really like her eyes. I'm not exactly sure what her expression is trying to convey, but the eye decals have this almost glossy, reflective look to them, and her eyelashes are very thick. I'm not trying to say that's objectively better, but I find those details, along with the color in general, very striking. Her base, though, could be a bit better. The checkerboard pattern is fine. I pretty much expect at least half of Shiro's figures to have it, but the white falls a bit flat here. And the other Shiro figure is from Prismawing, the one that kind of focuses more on the base than the character themselves. I definitely think this one is more interesting, though I don't like the way they take the photos. It's a mix of like very dull colors and then just like super vibrant colors, so I can never tell exactly what these figures look like. But I do think she has a great pose. I do think in general the composition of this figure is very interesting, more interesting than the dress version. But can I say for sure which one is better? Not really. I can say that I like the Prismawing more on concept, but that's about it. So more figures from Kotobukiya. We're getting Yukino and Yui in these casino party bunny girl outfits. Now, the interesting thing about it is that you don't need to buy them together. You can buy them separately, but if you do buy them together, you get additional parts so that they can kind of, you know, link up in a way. They get to like wrap their arms around each other. It's very cute, but I can't help but have a problem with Yukino's face. I just feel like it's off completely. It doesn't really look like her. I love the rest of the outfit. I love the gold coins on the bottom of the base. And I think Yui looks fine, so I don't really know what happened to Yukino. Maybe you disagree, but that's just how I see it, unfortunately. Mega House is also taking a crack at the double character figure. They're doing an Asuka and Mari figure. Mari's got her arm wrapped all the way around her leg, which I think is like the only interesting thing about this figure, in my opinion, because otherwise it's very standard. I do like the base though. I think the color of the base definitely adds a lot to just the overall white palette that this figure has. My biggest complaint is the weapon that Asuka's holding. I don't like it. I don't even know what it really is, and I just think it's kind of ugly. I think it's very distracting, and I wish it wasn't there. This figure definitely gets points for doing a figure with 2 characters in it, but it's really not that special in my opinion. I hate to say it, but I think this one is like a 7 out of 10, but like if IGN scored it, if you know what I mean. Pretty sure 1slash is a new company, or at the very least, this is their only figure on the site. We're slowly starting to get more Sophie figures, and for a company's first figure, maybe it's not looking too bad. Of course, the pose is just based on artwork, so they were lucky enough to not need to be creative here, though the books acting as the base is actually a solid idea. The colors do come off as a bit dull though. If you look at the original art, it only makes this figure look worse. But on the other hand, Sophie's outfit is just full of tiny intricacies that seem to be fully captured here. tons of gold buttons and cross-stitching, even some flowers in her hair and her boots. She's got a great design, and it seems like 1slash is trying to be very faithful here. So I am interested in seeing the final product. Very happy to see that Kotobukiya changed Lilith's duck lips from the prototype, or maybe it's just the lighting, but if it was changed, I'm thinking this is probably the best of the 3 figures in the line. No one's probably going to agree with me considering how popular Morrigan was, but that's my hot take. I'm also just really happy they made sure not to mess with the proportions, which sounds silly to bring up, but if she wasn't flat, this figure would legit be ruined. Her butt, yeah, that's looking great. Her paint job also just looks really clean, and the wings, just like Morrigan, capture that creepy side of the character archetype with all the veins throughout them. I very much feel like this outfit that Eris is wearing was definitely designed with some sort of very specific fetish in mind with the stockings on the beach, not to mention that her bikini, which they go out of their way to say is very unique, just sort of looks like either 2 swimsuits or underwear underneath. I don't really have an issue with that latter point though, but yeah, I've always liked the cloak design from the show, so I'm glad it's showing up in this figure, almost acting as a towel replacement in a way. And her red hair has some great shading from the looks of it, which also complements the rest of the colors. Will I regret not playing Tales of Arise as all these figures start popping up? I have no idea. But we have Rinwell here, and while I think her face is cute and I like her sort of thick eyebrows, I'm really drawn to this outfit, specifically under the robe where all those stripes rest. Something about all those symbols keeps grabbing my attention when I look at her. The butterflies decorating part of the outfit as well as being the part that holds the robe together, yeah, I like that too. It's a bit of a bummer though that it'll cost more if you want the little owl companion. It's exclusive to the Kotobukiya store. I'm not sure how important this little guy is, but from my unbiased opinion, I think she still looks very good without it. Our last scale of the month will be Kyoka, a new beatless figure straight from Good Smile Company and probably the most detailed figure from them this month. I actually don't know which is more impressive though, the sculpt of Kyoka or the weapon itself, the bloody prayers. They mentioned the meticulous modeling and paintwork that went into it, and I don't doubt that for a second. The battle-worn look of all the scratch marks and dull edges really gives the impression that this was used countless times, and it kind of just brings me back to when I used to watch a lot of videos on Gunpla and their weathering techniques. It's a really impressive looking weapon, and that's only a third of the figure. The base has this really sleek look to it. It almost looks reflective as a result. Kyoka, well, her hair looks superb, that's for sure, both from the way it's sculpted to the color choices of red and purple with a little bit of white on the tips. The mechanical, futuristic look of her legs and top are strong points as well, though from the front it can be really easy to forget about them. She's also got these sort of eerie-looking vein-like lines going all throughout her arm, which is definitely a vibe I'm not used to seeing on anime girls like this. It's gonna be a really long wait for this one if you want her all the way in 2024. It just sounds kind of insane saying that out loud. Goddamn. April Fools is the weirdest holiday in Japan because half of the companies just troll about fake products, and then occasionally they make outlandish reveals that seem fake and then turn out to be real purchasable products. Case in point, the infinite combining Gurren Dan Lagann. Despite how I don't really cover model kits here, I had to make an exception for this because this is just an insane product. Essentially, this is 9 different model kits or so of the mecha from the show that can all combine together to make this beast of a model kit, and it's all been supervised by Imaishi and the animation team to make sure it was to their liking. So 1, this design is actually ridiculous, but in the best way, and 2, some of these mecha very likely never had any kits or figures, so for the first time, some of them are being brought to life. You don't need to combine them, of course, you could just leave them as is once built, but that kinda goes against the spirit of the whole reason for why they made this in the first place. It's just so over the top in its design, but looks like a load of fun to actually play with, and I can't even imagine what expert modelers are gonna do with this thing once they finally get their hands on it. So My Melody and Kuromi were put up for pre-order this month, and they were kind of surprise hits. A lot of people pre-ordered them, myself included. I wasn't even planning to, but when I saw her and Kuromi go up at the same time, I just thought they looked excellent. They're extremely adorable. I think all of their accessories are really nice. Their faceplates are super good as well, and they just fit that Nendoroid form so excellently. It's like they were made for this line, you know what I mean? I just feel like these two Nendoroids are extremely expressive despite how simple they are, which is just the strength of the character design. If you're interested in either of these two, you really should pre-order them before it's too late. They were limited in pre-orders, so a lot of stores have already sold out of their stock. So, find a place where you want to pre-order them from if you're interested. Don't regret it last minute. They're probably going to be a little expensive on the aftermarket, especially Kuromi. I feel like she sold out first at almost every store, so she seems like the more popular of the two. But either way, I'm definitely looking forward to getting them in the beginning of next year or whenever after they get delayed. Next up is the hero from Persona 3, and I think this one is basically what you would expect his Nendoroid to be. Like, there's no surprises here. He gets his evoker, he has two expressions, and they're both very simple, and he gets a sword and a tarot card. So he has good accessories, he has decent faceplates. The only weird thing about this one is the arm that you use for the evoker to shoot yourself in the head. It's like twice or like 1.5 times as long as his normal arm should be. So once you notice that, it's a bit awkward. It's kind of hard to like not notice how long that arm looks. But besides that, I think this looks good. I think a lot of people will pre-order it just because Persona is so popular. And yeah, they did a good job. I was expecting them to re-release Korra after Aang got put up for pre-order, but they didn't. Either way though, Aang is here. I think they did a pretty good job with him. Definitely better than Korra. His accessories are solid. He gets a staff, which unfortunately doesn't turn into like the air glider, but it does look like a nice staff. He gets Momo, which is of course the cute lemur that is in the show. I think they did a great job sculpting Momo. And he gets his air scooter, which can also be used as a projectile if you want to. His expressions are solid. I think they did a great job capturing the art of the show. And I guess the only, like, sort of disappointing thing, but not really, is that he comes with an Appa sheet. He's a little expensive, in my opinion, but I think a lot of people will be happy with this. And if Korra is anything to go by, this will skyrocket on the aftermarket one day. So if you like him, you really should get him before you regret it. So for this next section, I'm going to be talking about movie Nendoroids because there were actually 4 of them this month, starting off with The Matrix with Neo and Agent Smith. Now, Agent Smith is as basic of a Nendoroid as you can get. Really unexciting, nothing to it. It's very, very simple. Neo, on the other hand, comes with a little bit more. He gets like the bullets that he gets to dodge. I think that's definitely the highlight of the Nendoroid because really besides that, it doesn't look like anything special. I'm not sure who these sell to. I don't know if anyone who loves The Matrix is also dying to get little chibi versions of their favorite characters, but either way, not too exciting. But then next up we have Alien from Alien, and I really think this is one of their best sculpts as far as Nendoroids go. This looks super good to me, and you really get to appreciate it from the side angle more so than the front. There's just so many details sculpted into this model. Obviously, he doesn't really come with faces, but his accessories are good. He gets like a chest burster and a face hugger. Unfortunately, the alien egg is just like an effect sheet, and you don't get an additional Nendoroid to like play around with the effect parts. They're just showing you how they work. But as cool as I genuinely think this one is, it's 9,500 yen, which is a really steep price for a Nendoroid. Like, I get it. It really is super well detailed, but I don't know how many people are going to pick this up because of that price alone. I certainly would if it was a lot cheaper. Just like the Predator from last month, these are very cool looking, but very limited in who's actually going to pick these up, unfortunately. And then probably the biggest surprise for Nendoroids was Edward Scissorhands. I don't know if this is like a timely thing because of the like trial going on with Johnny Depp, but either way, this looks excellent. I'm not really interested in buying it, but I think it looks really well sculpted. His hair looks amazing. All the little scissors on his hands also look super nice. Unfortunately, this is also another 9,000 yen Nendoroid, but I mean, I get it. It is a very like well sculpted little figure, and he comes with some pretty good stuff. Besides all those scissors on his fingers, he also gets little kebabs. He has these cutout bunnies, which look really cute. He surprisingly has 3 faceplates, even though they all look pretty similar. And then he has his little dinosaur hedge background sheet, which is fine. Again, I don't really know how well this is going to sell because I feel like the market is really niche for something like this. But I like niche, so I think this is cool that they're making it. Just like the Alien, just like Predator. More like this. It's just unfortunate that, you know, the price is so high. The other 2 very popular Nendoroids of the month were, of course, the HoloLive releases of Okayu and Korone. I'll start off with Okayu. I think they did an excellent job with her face. Those eyes are so good. I don't know what they did to make the eyes look so good on this Nendoroid, but Every single one of her faceplates look really nice. I think they did a good job with her hair too. The cat ears coming out of the hair look really nice, but I don't really like her outfit. I think it falls a little flat for some reason. Not a big deal. Her accessories are, in my opinion, fine. The rice ball is cool, the little cat is a great one, and the sunglasses look pretty solid. That's about all you get. Reasonably priced, and it's supposed to match up with Korone because this one gets the hand-holding accessory. Now, Korone is definitely the one I was waiting for the most. I pre-ordered her day one. I just had to. I think she looks perfect. I couldn't really think of anything more to ask from this Nendoroid. Every single one of her faceplates is extremely adorable. I'm probably just going to use the default one. I think it looks really good. She comes with her little dog. She gets a French bread, a finger. I'm never going to use that finger, but of course she had to have it. And I don't know. I just think that like her outfit and her face and her hair look really great in the Nendoroid form. I do wonder if her ears can move. It looks like they're posable parts, but I'm not sure, and they don't talk about it in any way, so I guess we'll wait and see. But yeah, that makes 3 Nendoroids that I pre-ordered this month, which is pretty surprising. I don't normally do that, but they got me, so I'm spending more money than usual. Rin from Laid Back Camp is getting another Nendoroid, not something we really needed. I don't want to like make any Laid Back Camp fans mad, but I feel like it's a little redundant at this point. Either way, I guess it sold so well that they wanted to do a second one, and it looks good. I think that all the accessories on this one, especially the trike, look excellent. That and the lantern can be lit up with LEDs, so that's a cool feature. And for 7,800 yen, I think you could definitely do worse. Like, I feel like there's a decent amount in here to warrant that price. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good value. You get like a helmet, you get food, you get the faceplate, you get the bike, the lantern. There's a lot here, so I don't really have a problem with this. It just kind of feels a little redundant, like I said earlier. And for our last 3 Nendoroids, I feel like I don't have that much to say, so I'm going to kind of speed through them real quick. We have Saber Alter on a really demonic-looking horse. Very expensive at 9,500 yen, though the horse is very cool. And I think both of her weapons, or her weapon and the effect part, looks really sick. Lavi from D. Gray Man, just a character I'm not really familiar with, though I do like the fact that he gets to stand on his hammer. And I think they did a great job with his faceplates. He looks pretty nice, and he gets like this fun little heart accessory to go on his eye, sort of like Sanji, but again, I don't really know the character. And then finally for Nendoroids, we have Origami Tabichi from Date Alive 4. The main accessory here is the Angel Metatron. It basically just lets you pose these 4 little turret-looking thingies in any position you want so that you can make poses from the show. I think the main reason why this is a 7,800 yen Nendoroid is more so her outfit than the accessories. It is a very nicely sculpted outfit, and I think it was painted pretty well despite being mostly like very light colors, like almost all white with like a little bit of blue, and then obviously the gold kind of gives it that contrast. Her faceplates are definitely serviceable to me, but yeah, other than that, I'm more so impressed by the rest. As far as Figma goes this month, we got a couple of interesting ones, starting off with the Iron Maiden actually, which is more so a big accessory to put your Figma into. I don't really know what I could possibly say about this. It looks well painted. I like that it comes with like a shackle and like a ball and chain, but I mean, other than that, it's an Iron Maiden. You could actually swap the face on the Iron Maiden, which is kind of funny, but yeah, other than that, it's an Iron Maiden. It actually comes in 2 different colors. One of them is exclusive to the Good Smile site, so I mean, if you want the bloody version, you're gonna have to go with Good Smile Company. There was also 2 new colors for the Horse Figma version 2, so if you've ever wanted the horses, but you didn't like the colors, then you get new ones to choose from, but the old ones also did get re-released, so just a bunch of horses to go around for everybody. Our first like normal Figma is Shirogane Noelle, which is going to be a pretty big release in my opinion. I think she looks great. I said it last time, but I really love the way her armor looks in a Figma form, and I guess I just have an affinity for the mace. I don't know what it is, I just think it looks like a really cool weapon. Now, I don't watch Noelle, I don't really know that much about her. I think it's a little weird that she comes with a baby rattle and a bottle. I can only imagine what that's implying, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But besides the mommy accessories, you also get a big beef bowl, which looks surprisingly good, as well as sunglasses. And if you pre-order it from the Good Smile site, you'll also get a beef bowl with an emblem on it. So, I mean, consider that if you're interested in picking this up. I expected this to be a bit more expensive, actually, so I'm surprised that it's just under 10,000 yen. Next up, we're getting Eris from Mushoku Tensei, and I think as far as like the sculpt goes, this one looks really good as well. I think they did an excellent job capturing her likeness. Her accessories feel a bit basic in my opinion. You do get the swords and you get an effect part for it, as well as like some crossed arms, but besides that, I don't know, I feel like you could get a little bit more for 9,000 yen. But as far as the quality goes, I think this one is excellent. And to wrap up the Figma, we have Shiroko from Blue Archive. I don't know anything about Blue Archive. It's a cat girl in a school outfit with like a halo. Looks kind of good. I like her color scheme. And she comes with like a really wide range of accessories. Obviously her gun, her rifle looks really well sculpted. Her drone is surprisingly very nice for a Figma accessory in my opinion. Even her bag with like the little charms on it looks pretty good as well. There's even like this burglar mask, which looks very funny. I just think this one's a really cute, great package for a Figma. And if you pre-order it through the Good Smile site, you'll get a bonus blushing face with the eyes closed. Gotta give a shout out to Bandai for making Zatch Bell and Kyo. I know it's Gash Bell, but I grew up with Zatch. Either way, yeah, just lovely to see these two characters make an appearance. Both of them just have really goofy faceplates, which I really do adore, especially the ones where their like eyes are bugging out of their head. It looks a little weird, but I'm glad that it's here. And on Zatch specifically, I do really like the motion like smear that they put on his arms for the running. Kyo doesn't have that for some reason, but I wish he did. They're definitely very light on accessories. All you get with Zatch is the Vulcan 300, and all you get with Kyo are 2 spell books, which are basically like the bare minimum, but it would have been really nice to get at least one effect part for like the attacks that Zatch can do. I feel like Kyo's figure looks a little bit better just because of the joints on Zatch are so like close to each other that, I don't know, it makes him look a little bit messy. I don't know, it just doesn't really look right to me when you stare at his arms, but other than that, I think these two are really great and very affordable. And that's our last figure of the day. So with that, we are done with the pre-order roundup of April. It was a long video. If you made it this far, thank you very much. I didn't really mean for it to be this long. I just ended up talking way more than I usually do for some reason. If you don't mind this, let me know, or if you prefer it to be shorter, then again, let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe for more if you want to catch more of these videos. Until next time though, I'll catch you later. See ya.